Church home, consider this your second home. But if you don't have a church home, you might as well consider this home. Let's give them a round of applause. I call your attention to all the announcements as printed in the newsletter. Don't forget that today, after the service, we'll have a book signing. Our own Aaron Mitchell's book will be part of our summer book club reading. About Rector's Guild. Karen, you want to say a couple words? Amen. No. It's a great book. It's a great read. Go ahead, Edna.
I'll speak to that, Aaron. She does not want to make me think that she is yada yada yada, but I am. I am yada 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 for her, and we are so proud to be able to our own. You know, it's not often that you have someone that you can claim as yours, and we claim Aaron as ours. So I'd like for you to come in the back and make sure to get her book, and she'll sign it to you this summer. Read it once, twice, so that we can have a very lively book discussion this fall. Thank you so much for understanding that we must recognize and love and honor our own.
And support our own. Thank you. So, books are $20 at the Guild Hall, so get ready. And you will enjoy reading this book immensely. Also, this coming week, we're going to have something with our sister church at All Saints, and I'll let Rory speak to that.
Thank you very much, Father Porter. I bring your attention to the flyers in your bulletin. In the upper left-hand corner, it says Black Lives Matter. You know, we had our Black Lives Matter forum here, and at the same time, All Saints Church was having a good program on Black Lives Matter. In fact, today they're actually showing a video at their church about all the young African-American people who have been shot at the hands of police. And they'll share that with us, and we'll try and get that up on our YouTube channel and our website. But what we're doing with this church is we're having a conversation. We started with a speed conversation. I talked to you about that. In fact, Byron was part of that. We want to share that experience, getting to know some of the folks from All Saints.
Yeah, it was very light. It posed three questions to us. You know, the first question, it told us to ask, what are the members from All Saints? What are we passionate about? Which is a very intriguing question. If that doesn't move you, then just let them know what you're passionate about. And during this time, you know, we all are passionate about our children and their lives. So that question right there, it got everything started. And then the question asked us, the next question was, what are you afraid of? Which is another important question. You know, what are you afraid of? First of all, what are you passionate about? If what you're passionate about is our children and their lives, then what are you afraid of would be, you know, I'm afraid of the way, the direction that society is going in now. And then I think the question, what do we hope to gain from our meeting with the All Saints Church, which is another pertinent question, because it opens up the door, you know, so it allows them to, you know, come get to know us. And we can tell them what it is exactly we want them to know about us, so they won't be fearful of us. Yeah. So it was very light. You know, but Rory, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. It's my job. But I hope that somebody would be there to represent me. my church fellow be there, because it is important. And they're reaching out to us, so we got to reach back. You know, with all the stuff that's going on in Baltimore, you know, it's,
Yes.
you know, the racism is rampant
Yes.
in our country. And we have to take a stand.
Right.
We have to take a stand and unite so we can find some type of cure for this disease that's affecting our country.
So Byron has asked someone to be here to represent him, and I'm asking all of you to look at your schedule. You might have to make a cut in your schedule. You know, you're pruning your tree of your life. Something better. Right? Because we're all connected. And actually, when we're together, we're strong. So we're stronger together. And we have an opportunity not just to be strong within St. Thomas, but we have an opportunity to reach out and be strong with all saints. And, you know, we're talking about being connected. We are increasing our own connections and what we have to share, what we have to offer. And so we've got two things that are happening this week. On Friday at 7 p.m. at All Saints Church, there's a film that's going to be shown. It's called Traces of the Trade. And Traces of the Trade follows a family that follows their history. And they realize to their shame that they have benefited from being a family of the largest slave traders in America. And so they try to grapple with what that means for them today. And in fact, this project that we have, this partnership with All Saints Church, is so important. It's got so much buzz, not just in our diocese, but also at the national church. And they're looking to us to see what we're going to do with this opportunity. Is this a model that they can have conversations about race throughout our church and actually like this? And so they're so excited about it that, you know, that the family, the representatives of the family from that film will be here on Friday. They're flying in from Boston. So we put in some money for it. All Saints Church put some money in for it. The Anti-Racism Commission put some money in for it. And then when we didn't have enough money, these family members said, well, that's all right, we'll pay some of our own way. To come and facilitate that conversation. You know, I've had a lot of, you know, I work with a lot of consultants. I've never had a consultant say, well, I'll pay you some of my way. It's because they're coming for the passion of it. They're committed to it. We're talking about what your passion is. We talked about what we want to do about all these lives that are being lost. The dehumanization of African Americans. We're asking you not to put this off to tomorrow. We're asking you today to make a commitment to be there. You know, and it's only through the grace and mercy of God that we have an opportunity to have our voices heard. So, after we get that started with that film and the conversation after that facilitation, then on Saturday, from 10 to 4:30, we're going to have a conversation about the systemic racism. The conversation is called An Introduction to Systemic Racism. And why are we doing that? Because we need to teach, and we need to learn about what these systems are in our country that create the circumstances that we're in, so that we can begin the process of dismantling that systemic racism. And it begins with us. It begins with a conversation. It's like that one-on-one organizing that Barack Obama did, talking to one person at a time. That's what those conversations that Biden talked about. It's having a one-on-one conversation. We're going to learn the language about race that allows us to have a conversation with all saints that is productive and leads to something. And we get to say what that something is. We get to say about the process and procedures, the rules and the regulations that are affecting our country that lead to unwanted and often negative circumstances. We get to talk about the training that our police are receiving that leads to the kinds of things that happen and the biases that lead them to the depths of Americans, the Black Americans. Because Black Lives Matter, I'm asking you personally, inviting you to be there both Friday and Saturday. To give up those days for the future of what we want it to be. So I thank you for the time that you've given me to ask you to be there. Just to make it a little easier, we're going to be leaving from here with a van at 6 p.m. on Friday and 9 a.m. on Saturday, so that you can have a ride. I would ask you that you let me know if you want that ride, so we can make sure we have enough room for you. Do we need to call out more cars? And this is what I want to know, because we want to have like 6 or 7 cars. We want a real entourage going there, representing St. Thomas, saying that we care that Black lives do matter to us, and we want to be there in full force. So please reschedule your appointments for Friday and Saturday if you can. And thank you very much.
Thank you. And, you know, we always wonder what is it that we can do. You know, you might not be able to go out and march. You may not be able to go and travel to Baltimore or Ferguson or wherever the hotbed of action is. You may not, a lot of things you may not be able to do, but you can work in your own little corner of the world to begin to make a big difference. And I think this can make a big difference and almost have a ripple effect, not only in our diocese, but in our church, as we become a model for what reconciliation can be. So please come out and support both All Saints and St. Thomas on those 2 days, May 8th and 9th. Any other announcements need to be made out loud? Yes.
Saturday, May 9th is the National Association of Letter Carriers annual food drive. I ask for your support to support your local food depositories. I need everybody to gather up the food out the cabinets and put them on your doorstep for your letter carrier. They'll pick them up any day during the week, or Saturday is the last day. So I ask for your support.
Thank you, and I think there's a connection with that because as we have a feeding ministry here, we may benefit from some of those donations